Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we want to take a look at the Open Ultra League. Open Ultra League is going to be currently available as well. I haven't really tried to play this league for quite a while. Main reason for this, it is quite a slow league. But honestly, today we're going to take a look at a legend team from Monkishi here. Thanks for also posting that on Twitter, I really appreciate it. But yeah, today we're going to take a look at the Open Ultra League. And right now, we're going to have otherwise available the Sunshine Cup. I made a poll on the community tab, which you can interact now as well. But I feel like you have to subscribe for that first. We're going to take a look here, of course, at the poll. The poll says that around 50% of you are playing Ultra League and 50% are playing Sunshine Cup. So I guess it's only fair for me to kind of showcase both sides of it. And maybe we're going to have another Ultra League team tomorrow. Or would you rather want to see maybe the top teams for the Open Ultra League? It depends on what you want to see. Let me know down in the description into the comment section, of course. What do you want to see? Do you want to see top teams? Do you want to see a general good team for the Open Ultra League? Then yeah, let me know down below. And honestly, we're going to take a look here now at the battles as well. First battle, we're actually going to completely destroy the opponent. And I have to say, I actually started really bad with this team, which you are not going to really see here. We just have the last two sets in here today. But of course, I'm always honest with how teams went out, basically. And what I have to say here, we're going to have quite a good gameplay. We have quite good gameplay here. The thing with the Open Ultra League is also make it a bit awkward for me here is mainly that the battles are so long, so I cannot really put in that many battles into the video. So like usually for Great League, just for you to know, is around like 10 to 12 battles. I think here we're between 8 and 9 battles usually for the Open Ultra League, mainly just because I don't really want to have the videos down to like 20 minutes. Yes, I could do that as well, but I feel like, I don't know, like it is not really as much enjoyable to watch maybe for you. Maybe you see it differently. Should I do like 20-minute videos? Again, stuff for the comment section there. I always read the comment section, by the way, especially when I ask all the questions there. Always kind of interested in your opinion. But yeah, what I want to say is just like, don't get that many battles into this one here right now. But I did 13 battles total. The first 3 I all lost, where I was like, oh, does this team actually work? And then I went 2 times 4-1. And this team was amazing. And I have to say, for the first 3 battles that I lost because I got hardwalled. I just got hardwalled. I encountered, I think, 2 times Verzian in the lead and 1 time as a save swap. And B had to save swap and then they had Verzian against us. As you can see here, this is the only real weakness of this team is Verzian or like Chestnut, but Chestnut doesn't really exist in the Open Ultra League. But if you're gonna take a look at Verzian and what you're gonna do when it's in the lead, you have not really an answer for it. Anything else is fine. It is just Verzian, like the team itself does make sense, but Verzian can core break your lead and your save swap, which is not ideal for us, and that happened quite, like, at least in the beginning often, and afterwards it wasn't the case anymore. So, like, to be fair, this team was a lot of fun, and yes, you can still deal with fighting type Pokemon like Machamp here as well with the Mandibuzz. This is actually an interesting matchup here. We're going to have the Weezing against us. Weezing, of course, we have some frame drops here as well, as always, but Weezing is actually a little bit of a tricky Pokemon for us because it can core break us, but it doesn't have to core break us. What I mean with this is Weezing has the option to, of course, beat Mandibuzz, being a Fairy type Pokemon with Fairy Wind and a potential, of course, of Play Rough. But also, Weezing has options like Brutal Swing against our lead, and our lead is definitely weak to Brutal Swing. Makes it a bit awkward for us, but yeah, definitely makes it, generally speaking, a bit difficult for us sometimes to deal with this Pokemon. But as you're gonna see here, the opponent is going to be able to actually knock us out, which was kind of my fault. I should have just went into my Licky against Feraligatr. If you ever face a Feraligatr save swap, don't go into your Mandibuzz, go into your Licky no matter what, because you're going to be able to realign anyway at the end of the day if you go into the Licky. And yes, you might have a worse matchup with the Mandibuzz against something like Weezing, but now we're going to have the opponent's Mandibuzz against our Golurk, and yeah, kind of we threw away the game with that. And so, please, if the opponent goes into Feraligatr, swap out into Licky here in this case, would be way better for you. Anyway, next opponent here is going to be having a Zygarde there. A lot of people who have like those really rare and overpowered Pokemon are running currently the Ultra League, mainly because they just have that benefit compared to other players. Even like most players that don't have like good Ultra League Pokemon are running the Sunshine Cup right now. And so here we're going to encounter quite a lot of times Zygarde, which is a bit of a tricky Pokemon to deal with, but then again also not really. The energy is completely going to waste against the Mandibuzz, which is really good if it's a standard moveset of Earthquake and Crunch, which I feel like is kind of necessary in the current meta, so I don't think that they're going to run Outrage. And so I do definitely think that this Pokemon is very much manageable for our team here. And what you usually want to do is you want to go for 5 fast moves with your lead and then swap out. Because after 5 fast moves, the opponent would be at a crunch. Crunch is something that would be super effective against our lead and you kind of want to catch it. And hopefully we're going to have the other battle against Zygarde in as well later on. But Zygarde, honestly, while it looks scary on paper, a lot of times it did not really do too much against me, and that is kind of great for us as well. Here the opponent decides to go for the Hydro Cannon. I decide to use a shield. Of course, if they have a Zygarde that is getting completely hard-rolled by the Mandibuzz, I'd rather shield up a Hydro Cannon that is doing a lot of damage compared to like later on a crunch because I'm too low from the Hydro Cannons. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like for me, if I know that there is a move that does a ton of damage that is going to be most likely going up against me, I'd rather shield this than maybe a potential move later on. So like if I know, for example, okay, I might not really need the Pokemon directly, or I'm not too sure if I'm going to need it later on, and still would survive the move and I still would survive the matchup. But if a move does like 80% on my Pokemon, I'd rather use a shield there because I know, okay, I saved myself 80% of my health. And not always going to be the wisest decision. A lot of times having shields even on low HP Pokemon later on in different matchups might be a bit better. But just generally speaking, I do definitely like to preserve as much health as possible and always kind of try to shield when I know a hard-hitting attack is guaranteed to come through. Anyway, we're going to be able to go for a charge move here against the opponent's Feraligatr, go for the Air Relays, take the knockout, and we should be hopefully fine against the Cresselia. It is actually going to be a bit closer than I expected, because his Dark Pulse is not doing enough here, which I was very much confused about, but they're going to still go down here. And there is the next Zygarde. Again, what you want to do is you kind of want to go for 5 fast moves, because then they're going to be at a crunch and then swap out. Simple as that, I would say. We're going to be able to catch the move here. Crunch is going to come through and doesn't get a debuff. And we're going to get greeted by the Tentacruel. Here's the thing as well. I would even recommend you maybe a moveset change for this Pokemon. While Shadow Ball is the best neutral move to go for this thing, I actually do think that Earthquake might have a little bit more potential for this team in general, because you're going to have a ground type in the lead. And again, we have already coverage now that our lead as well has in terms of the ghost typing with Shadow Ball here. But I don't know, I feel like Earthquake does make more sense. Earthquake, like a lot of Pokemon that I baited out, for example, were stuff like a Cobalion or something like this, which you would be able to hit for super effective damage then, or like generally steel type Pokemon or poison type Pokemon. And I feel like Earthquake would have done definitely a little bit of a better job, even though the team was amazing and actually worked out super well. I think it still would have done a bit of a better job than what we do here with Shadow Ball. Especially if you're going to consider as well, like, what is Shadow Ball hitting? Yeah, Psychic type Pokemon. We have a Ghost type in the lead still, and we have a Dark type in the back. It doesn't really make too much sense. And otherwise, you're going to have at least super effectiveness against other Ghost type Pokemon. And then again, you have a Dark type in the back, which is going to be very good against those. So you don't really need the coverage of the Shadow Ball, in my opinion. I feel like Earthquake would make more sense on the team. So if you want to change something, Earthquake on the Licky might be the way to go. Anyway, we're going to be able to go for another charge move here. The Shadow Punch is coming through. It's going to get the shield. I can go for a Dynamic Punch next, which is going to guarantee the knockout against the opponent here. And honestly, Shadow Golurk was so much fun in the meta. Like, this Pokemon is so strong right now. Yeah, now we're going to have Zygarde against our little bird. If they have Outrage, they're going to go for it now, but they don't. And so, yeah, we're going to get the defense drop onto us. Doesn't really matter. I don't really think so, as Dark Pulse is going to two-shot them for sure, and the opponent decides to forfeit. Weezing, oh Weezing. Again, Weezing is going to be here in the lead. Let's see what they're going to swap into. Oh, they're going to swap out into the Feraligatr. We can stay in for a little bit, then swap out and put them into range with the extra damage from Mud Slap for 2 Body Slams or one Shadow Ball later on if I do enough damage here as well with my fast moves alone. But let's see what the opponent going to decide to go for. They're going to go for another Hydro Cannon. I can go for the Body Slam here. And if they use a shield, I'm going to try my best to reach that Shadow Ball. Let's see what they're going to do. They decide to use a shield here, and no Shadow Ball is coming through. This would easily get the KO against the opponent. And they just wasted one shield while allowing me to keep alignment. And you might think, that is great now, right? You win the battle. Good job there. You did a good job there with that one. No, like, the issue here is we are in farm down range for that Weezing. Weezing has the potential of having, of course, like, it always has Brutal Spring, but it also could have, in theory at least, the move of Play Rough, and so, like, it is going to be a bit of a tough one. I'm going to go for the Shadow Punch, hoping that the opponent maybe lets the move go through, and afterwards I will swap out, because I cannot retake all the Brutal Swings. The opponent still should be at around, like, 80 energy at this point here. And we will see the overheat coming through, which is definitely way better for us. They're going to overfarm, but they're going to have a Licky in the back, and this gives me quite some decent hope there. Because at the end of the day, yes, the opponent is going to do super effective fast move damage here, but also I could force the opponent to go for some charge moves against us as well, and I might be able to go for a dynamic punch later on against this Pokemon. As the opponent goes for a charge move, I can let the move go through. Even with the energy that we have, we should be kind of fine, or like with the shield that we have, we should be kind of fine. I wanted to swap out first, as you saw as well, but it didn't work out. At least I can keep the energy here, which might be good for later on. It's actually CMP type. I don't know what's really happening. I want to swap out way earlier, and I think it would have been the better play to swap out earlier, but now it's down to that Golurk. We're forced to use a shield here against the opponent's Weezing, hoping that this is going to be enough to at least knock them out here with one more fast move, or never mind, we decide to go straight for the charge move as we're already at the next Brutal Swing, allowing us to get the KO here. Licky is coming back in. We can go for not the full farm down. Now it's down if we can now snarl them down or not, if they can knock me out beforehand, and we can snarl them down with 1 HP in a dream. Versing an elite is basically impossible. Like, yeah, there is most likely in theory something that you can do, but I highly doubt that it's actually going to work out for us. And so, yeah, we're going to take a look here at this matchup. We're going to be able to go for some Shadow Balls. I guess that's going to be good for us, but I am not too sure if this is going to work out at all for us. We're going to see here some nice damage coming through. But again, they're going to be able to align themselves, but at least they're going to have a good answer for them in the back. I try my best to go up for a Shadow Ball. They actually swap out into the Drapion. This will allow us something interesting. We're going to be able to swap out of here, and we're going to be able to go for the full farm down. And I could even decide to call it being an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail we should be able to survive, even though it's super effective, and even though it is, yeah, we have two Shadow Pokemon against each other. But we are going to be able to go for the 2 Shadow Punches, and if I can keep my Golurk even, I would be kind of happy, and so I decided to use a shield here. This should be, of course, enough then afterwards to still knock them out, or get the final shield. And with this, we're gonna, like, if we get the final shield here, we have still 3 Pokemon, and one of them is really good against the opponent's Broguiere, and it's going to be a Skuntank in the back. And there is something happening soon here in the battle that I don't really like, I have to say. But we will see what is going to be happening now. We're going to be able to go for an air release. It is going to do some solid damage. But, yeah, let's see. We're going to be able to go for another air release. It's going to be fine. And we see the opponent going for another charge move. They, of course, want to try to trailblaze. Every charge move really is currently resisted against our Mandibuzz. And as we decide to swap out, we are going to be able to at least clear the boss from the opponent, which is very important. I can go for the aerial ace to knock them out, but it's now really, really close. I have to still get another aerial ace. And now we'll take a look at this. I cannot move. I cannot move for like 2-3 turns, giving the opponent like a lot of free fast moves there. Those free fast moves really, really cost me now, because now they can go for the full... Never mind, they don't go for the full farm down, even though they could have done that for sure. They rather decide to go for a charge move, and this allows us now to still win the battle. They could have won the battle if they played it a bit better. So let's take a look at the next one. It's going to be a Gastrodon swap again. Good job trainer here trying to do their best by building a Gastrodon just to get completely hard-walled for it. Good job there. Yeah, Gastrodon, generally speaking, very good Pokemon for the Open Ultra League. A Pokemon that I still need to build. I actually spent so much Stardust on this team as well. I still had to build the Licky and I had to build the Golurk, so I'm literally Stardust poor again for no particular reason. But there's not really another Pokemon coming in soon anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I think the next release is going to be actually Morpeko, which is still 12 days away from this point of recording and also uploading the video. Like, I literally gonna upload the video as soon as I'm done with it. So yeah, I think it's going to be fine. We're going to have here the opponent's Tentacruel. Tentacruel is going to be definitely a Pokemon that can be a bit scary. We will try our best to get to another Dark Pulse here, and we gotta do some decent damage against the opponent, at least with that one, allowing us to even go maybe afterwards into Licky, because the opponent has quite a lot of energy. I don't really want to use my shields against this Pokemon, but also I am fearing that there might be a Mandibuzz in the back here, so we're gonna swap out, and yes, there is a Mandibuzz, and yeah, we're just gonna get hard-walled. I don't think there's really a way of winning this one. And yeah, we still are in this somehow. The opponent decides to go ahead and let the move go through, which is good for us, because now we can have to rely on the Licky, but Licky does super effective fast move pressure. I don't know. It's going to be a bit of a weird one. We're going to see Dark Pulse coming through. The opponent is going to have to take all of the hits here. I might be even able to win Nah, never mind. I thought of maybe even winning here by the timer, but actually Tentacruel is quite low. I have to hope that I don't get a debuff here from the opponent's Scald. Scald is coming through. I can go for the Body Slam. This is going to be enough to knock them out. Let's find out here. Is it going to be? It is not going to be, but we can go for one more Faust move and get the full farm down here, having now a ton of energy for that Mandibuzz, and it's going to be a very close matchup. Who is going to win this one? We have two bulky Pokemon that barely do any damage at all, and this is the main reason why I kinda dislike the open world league, I have to say. But yeah, they're trying to battle it out with each other. We're gonna still try our best here by going for one or more Body Slam, and we can go for another one, and we still have a shield. And here's one thing, the opponent screws up. And the opponent screws up big time, because they could have got at least a tie here, but they tried to knock me out with a charge move and did not work out. We still win the battle, and this is going to be it for this video. This team was amazing. Like, honestly, would recommend you to use it, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.